thinking old school, right? It's fine, but you're not actually, hold on, you're not actually really focusing on the future, the AI that is facing this existence. There's no turning back. We're never going to go back to a place where we don't have this level of technology deployed anymore. So think about the macro trajectory. We have moved from barter to gold, right? Because people needed portability. Then we moved from gold to paper because we trusted institutions, right? Right now, we are living through the massive structural migration from paper to code. We are transitioning away from systems that are vulnerable to inflation, political whim. So we are moving towards a decentralized system, immutable mathematics and hyper intelligence algorithms. And this is undeniable, right? If your money is sitting aside on a place where it's only in financial banks in your accounts, they are being utilized only by old fiat paradigms. We know that your money, it's already losing its value. And we all know this by now. Monies, they go through inflation cycles. They go through purchasing power. And only by them be sitting aside, they already losing that value. We have experienced this multiple times. It's actively evaporating, right? So history, it will not just repeat itself, but it will absolutely rhyme. How is that? Look at the tectonic shifts of the last century. We have multiple of these adoption curves when we talk about the evolution. So what we have in front of us since the 1880s, we've experienced the discovery of electricity and everything that came after that, right? The electrification industry. The last century we had in the 1990s, the commercial internet, that explosion, the boom, when we were really trying to understand what the world was about to become when we were first introduced to internet, and we had no idea what was about to unfold in front of us. Like back in the days, 20, it's funny because I'm 40 years old, but when I think about the 2000s, it's like yesterday. When I think about the 1990s, it's hard for me to understand that it was that long ago, right? And I was born in 86. So when we first, but my father, he was really into the technological stuff. So I had a computer in my house as soon as it was launched. Guys, keep in mind that I'm in Brazil, right? We are a third world country, but I'm in a very fancy neighborhood. I grew up over here. So we had all the technology available for us back in the days, even then. So my father, he was a computer geek. So even though Brazil was still trying to understand what was the internet, what was computers, I had it over inside my house. But we didn't believe that it was about to become something that humans were not able to live without, because we cannot live without it today. Let's face it, right? So we have, just after the internet boom, we came with the mobile cloud and all that phone, the phones and everything in the palm of our hands, Apple, AWS. We had also the launch of Uber, right? Today, it's so difficult to imagine a world where we don't have access to transportation in the palm of our hands. We can call someone and they will be there 10 minutes later to pick us up and turn us to another place. So this is the world that we live today. But what happens at this second is that we are in the convergence of AI and crypto. This is our era. That's undeniable. Welcome aboard, guys, because we are facing the most strong power forces on humanity. And I mention this every single presentation. For the first time in existence, we are about to share a role. Oh, we are already doing that. We don't really realize it, but we are about to step into an era. We are going to share the world with something that is more fast, more accurate, and more reliable than humans have ever been, right? So if we understand them, this force, the AI force, and we know how to merge this into our finances, we are going to grow exponentially. Like Elon Musk, he constantly is talking about how in 10, 15 years time, we're going to have so much abundance coming from those who understand how to position themselves ahead of the curve. So don't mark only my words for it. Look at Smart money. Smart money, when moves, it's always leaving clues behind. It will always leave some sort of tips behind. So Wall Street, it's not trying to regulate crypto out of existence anymore, as it was trying to do when it was first launched 2 decades ago. When crypto was launched, Wall Street tried to fight its regulations, tried to come up with a different bills to pass in the government that this was insane. No human should be allowed to have their capitals on decentralized system, obviously, because they cannot control us. So it came to a point where Wall Street, it's not trying to regulate crypto any longer. Now it's trying to acquire crypto and purchase crypto. Look at these powerhouses like Microsoft and Xbox. They are integrating digital asset credits into their store. So you're able to purchase, you're able to use crypto to purchase games, movies, a lot of digital content, softwares on Xbox. Starbucks, it's built a smart bridge to use crypto, integrated its cards into its own network. The huge banks, the financial institutions, look at those guys. Even traditional banking fortress like Citigroup, Goldman, Nubank, Itaú, those are Brazilian banks, but those guys over here, they offer limited access to Bitcoin and Ethereum for customers. So they are changing their framework for digital assets to accommodate digital assets. So when the wolves of Wall Street, they are buying the underlying asset, we know that the conversation, it doesn't need to have a point anymore. The point has been set up long ago, right? The smart money has already moved. Look at Tesla, for example. Elon Musk, he didn't just tweet about Bitcoin for only engagement purposes. Tesla went out there and put a chunk of their actual corporate balance into those reserves directly merge into digital assets. Look at his exact words that he said over here. So retain as Bitcoin, not converted into fiat, because the most innovative tech companies today on earth, they are holding pure cash. They know that holding pure cash, it's a guarantee way to lose purchase power. So what they want hard assets, right? So the infrastructure and the $1 trillion arbitrage. Now we're going to learn how these exchanges, they capitalize. We have Bitcoin, for instance. We have Binance, for instance. Binance is the pioneer, right, of the crypto industry. Binance has been here for 9 years and they really knew how to establish themselves. So let's talk about the mechanics of the house, right? Let's understand how do cryptocurrencies companies, they generate the blueprint revenue, because all of them, they generate revenue, especially those top 10 that you're familiarized with. We're talking about OKX, Binance, BitGet, all of them. Kraken, right? Coinbase, all of them, they generate a lot of money. So what we need to learn from them, because what Bitradex did, it's copied that methodology, but on top of that, they also attributed their own proprietary AI. So there's so much that we should learn from this industry. But the good thing is that Bitradex does this for us. It does the learning, it does the spread, the rate, and the whole. The only thing that we have to do is to understand our finances and what are our own liquidity needs, to understand how to move and navigate within this industry. So let's understand how the money is generated, right? So before we talk about Bitradex numbers and how to place our capital on those bots, let's take a step back, zoom out, and understand the trifecta, right? We're talking about rate, spread, and hope. So every second, we know that we are inside an industry that is transacting. So millions of users, millions of traders, we are buying, we are selling, we are swapping, we are using those exchanges. So we have the transaction fees, we have the spread arbitrage, we have the custodial assets on hold. So every single day, every one of those trades will leave some portion of fees behind, tiny fees. But picture this, in Bitradex, for example, for instance, we have 2 million users. We have roughly today was around $2 billion that were traded. Yesterday was $3 billion. Today, $2 billion. Imagine every single one of those transactions and the tiny fees that are left behind. So picture that Binance, for example, in 2025 alone, it had a trading volume when you combine spot and futures of over $65 trillion. We know that in 2025, the world witnessed $85.7 trillion. We are talking about over $264 billion changing hands every single day. So every single trade will leave behind a fraction of a percentage in tiny fees. So this is how the house will always win. So not just those numbers from Binance, but now we think about Bitradex, right? So we know that Bitradex, on top of that hold, on top of the arbitrage and the transaction fees, also have its own engineered ecosystem designed to capture the high velocity transactional volume and distribute efficiency back to the community using its own AI. This is how we can also generate the passive income. So we have the lessons from the giant. We're talking about Binance metrics, now Bitradex metrics. Now look at the ultimate proof of concept, right? We have it over here in the modern financial landscape. We understand that it's already moving entirely through algorithms, right? We have it over here when we think about the Wall Street AI dominance. From 60 to 75% of all the operations, between 16 to 75% of all daily volumes, all daily trading volumes of the world's premier stock exchange is already executed by automated systems today. Almost 75% of the entire trading volume is executed by AI, obviously, right? Those big guys, they're not playing around anymore. It's not that they don't trust humans doing the job, but we know that humans, we need to take a break. We need to rest. We need to have time with our family members. We need to focus on our health. Machines, on the other hand, they don't need to play that game because they were built to function following structures and following algorithms of a development that it's mainly to follow rules. And they don't need to step away. They don't need to breathe a little bit, right? So the world AI, it's mainly AI. The world today, it's mainly AI. And it wouldn't be different when we talk about finances, right? Look at such a Morgan Stanley's AI platform advisory. It is used more than 15,000 financial advisors who together they manage $4.6 trillion in digital assets. So when we think about machines and humans, machines, they don't have ego. Algorithms, they don't experience fear. They are not going to panic sell in the middle of the New York Open because they just listened to a bad headlines. They are going to look at historical data. They're going to calculate probabilities with a staggering precision that humans will never be able to achieve. And they are going to execute the trades with zero emotional friction. So that is the exact tier of the institutional technology that Bitradex brings into our portfolio. Right? We know that machines, they are never going to feel sorry after a loss. They're never going to feel the urge of changing their stop loss metrics, right? We know that machines, they are constantly placing those pre-designed high probability setups before they even enter or exit a trade. That's it, guys. There's not much complicated than that. As a matter of fact, we have multiple in-person events where our CIO, the Chief Information Officer, he constantly opens up to us how those bots that are responsible for millions of dollars, how they conduct their analysis to understand when the setup will deliver a higher or a negative outcome, when the setup will deliver a high probability outcome for us. So we are able to witness those parameters and those functionalities metrics. Every time that the bot understands that the probability is above 90 something percent, only then it will take a trade with full authority. Below that, it will never jump on a trade out of hope, out of expectation. thinking that it should do better. Never. They're never going to do this. So we have the fortress and its engines, right? So who is behind the curtain of Bitradex? So we can understand previously the exchange right now. We spoke a little bit about the eras. We spoke a little bit about the crypto industry. Now let's understand who is Bitradex so we can learn about them, from them, and also partner with them. So we have it over here about corporate and governments. We have a company that is grown strategically, work, and better than expected. So from the funding of 2022, the first time that it entered the market, until the new global investor that was just announced. We have numbers that demonstrate the growth, and we can learn how offer the product based on those numbers. So first thing that we should know, it's about compliance, right? We know that Bitradex is operated under Bitradex Fintech Limited. We know that it's legally registered in the UK and actively scaling up these operations to Malta. We know that Malta is the global capital of digital currency innovation. We know that by now. So the headquarters today is in Singapore and is transitioning to Malta. This will happen at the end of July and the beginning of August, right? The registration is just paperwork. We want to look at compliances, right? We want to look at the information that we can pull out of the internet. So we have this website over here. This one, it's called certic.com. So what this website does, and I'm going to post it over here for us. What it does, it's come out with auditing solutions. So it is a platform that combines formal verification and security solutions. How does it do this? So it has different pillars of evaluation. We have fundamental, we have market, we have cybersecurity, we have community. There are 6 different pillars of each evaluation from each one of those exchanges. They have audited over $475 billion. They have audited major companies such as Hedera, they have audited SEE, they have audited Bitcoin.com, Pepe, Worthome. So there's a lot of companies that have been through their records. So how are we going to understand the numbers of Bitradex? We click and show all on the leaderboards over here and exchanges, and it's going to open up to us this exchange leaderboard when obviously the familiar names at the top are well displayed. So we have Binance, Coinbase, OKX, BitGet, we have Geta, we have Kraken, Crypto.com. It's the exchange that sponsors Formula One. So we want to look at Bitradex, which is at the 30th position today. And over here in this website, we have 155 exchanges that are classified over here. So guys, in the world today, there are thousands of exchanges on the planet, thousands. We cannot even count them. The majority of them have not been through compliances or through regulations or through registration, or they have not had their reserved funds approved. So that's not the case of those that are listed over here. So the majority of those listed over here, they have been through all of those compliances to be on top of this leaderboard. So before we look into Bitradex, let's look at Binance so we can see Binance numbers and we can compare them both, because obviously Binance is the #1 in the world. So we have it over here, the website analysis. They are at median plus. We have the app security. They have 4 points of attention that they need to focus on. They have the Skynet score. They are classified at #1. They are AAA. So they have good points of information over here on Binance. Remember, Binance is the pioneer, right? They are the pioneer of success. They're not the first one to be launched. As a matter of fact, Coinbase was launched 14 years ago. We have Kraken is a dinosaur 15 years ago, right? Bitso 12 years ago. Bitstamp 15 years ago. So we have Bitfinex 14. So Binance, it's 9 years old, but because they were able to position themselves in a higher infrastructure and community growth, today they're classified as the #1 in the planet. So let's turn our attention now to Bitradex, the exchange that we love a lot and we always or have been partnered with since they opened their bots to the public. So they have been on since January of 2022. That's when they first were introduced into the market. But publicly, the bots have been performing the operations since May, June 2025. So it has been over 1 year now. Do they have registration from SEC USA and the relevant trading licenses requirements? So this is a question for us to ask to the CIO. I have a meeting with Lucas, which is our top leader of Brazil, and also he has constantly meetings with the CIO directly. So let me copy this, and I'm going to paste it up right here, and I'm going to send it to him. And then we get this session. Tomorrow we have another meeting. As soon as I get a reply from him, I'm going to let you know about this. But what these guys are doing, they are growing exponentially, and they have their roadmaps. Yeah, every one of those exchanges, they have plannings, and they have roadmaps, and they have milestones that were achieved and conquered. And every single one of those licenses and those structures in the roadmap, they have accomplished Bitradex. This is why we are so in love with them. If you compare Bitradex and Binance, remember that Binance had my pleasure. Remember that Binance had 4 points of attention. We have 3, right? Binance over here in the app security, it stands at median plus. We have a higher app security today. We look at ourselves. We're classified at the 30th position as an exchange. We have 82.35 overall score. We are grade A. This is already phenomenal, guys. When we first started to hear about Bitradex, this was back in May 2025. They were at the 80th position in Certic. And coin market cap, they were at the 193rd position. So we are witnessing these guys rise up every single week after week. They're growing stronger and larger. Listing security, remember Binance is at 85. In listing security, we are at 88. So one of those pillars, we are able to compare ourselves with Binance, not just compare, but stand above Binance, which is the #1 in the world. So fundamental and operational, we still have margin to improve over here. Market and cybersecurity, we are at outstanding. Community, we are at 72. So we still can grow our community a lot. And this is one of the main reasons why we are allowed to partner with Bitradex as their affiliates. So we can work within the affiliate program, and we can secure from 10 up to 84% of incentives when we work as their affiliate partners. I'm going to walk us through that, how we can do this later on. But before, I want us to give us the clear overview of the narrative, not even told by Bitradex themselves, but what we can pull out of those websites and softwares. Those are the ones that give us information that is pulled out of the blockchain. We know that this industry today, it's built upon blockchain technology. So every transaction, it leaves behind a hash code. Every time that the day is closed, we know the circulation supply. We know all the billions that were the pass through all these transactions. So we have good information within the crypto industry. For example, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, we don't know how much these guys transacted. We don't know how much they have in their portfolios. We don't know how many clients they have today, because all of that is kept private to us. But when we think about information inside the crypto industry, we can rely on those sort of websites. CoinMarketCap, we can rely on Certic.com, because their information is public to, it's open to public. It's public by design because it's pulled out of the blockchain. So you have it over here when we talk about compliances. It is fully registered in the FinCEN exchange regulation over here. So you can understand that they are under the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. This is in the United States as a money service business. So if you place it over here, the United States registration number under FinCEN, which is Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, you're able to see that they have it over here. The highlighted name as Bitradex Fintech Limited. We have the address in the United Kingdom, and we have the MSB activities. So it is adherent to the Bank Secrecy Act and global anti-money laundering protocols. So it's currently managing today we have it over today, $700 million in assets within the ecosystem. So we know that we have powered over 2 million registered accounts worldwide, globally. And backing all of this, it's an audit treasury reserve exceeding $233 million. So it has been already proved that they have $186 million under spot trading. They have other additional 18 million. So there is today $233 million that is the treasury fund reserve. So this is just not a speculative project that was built in the backyard. This is a regulated financial powerhouse that we have in front of us, guys, delivering 35 to 45% of monthly strategic performance. Right, we have it over here, another website that gives us a clear overview of their money, right? We know that this is called CoinMarketCap. I'm also going to post it over here. In CoinMarketCap, you are able to understand also the prices and the volumes and the metrics of each one of those digital assets, and also those exchanges where the digital assets they are traded. So we have today the market standing at $2.21 trillion. This is how much the crypto industry is worth it today. We have it over here on the left side, all the digital assets. We have some information about the pricing on the past 7 hours, or on the past 24 hours, 7 days. The market cap, we have volume, we have the circulating supply, the sentiment. So these are pieces of information that we have it over here, but we don't want to look into those digital assets. We want to look into exchanges, and specifically into Bitradex, right? So again, when you place spot exchanges over here, you see the familiar names once more in the top, and you see that those numbers, they dropped a little bit from all of them. Like BitGet has transacted 594. Binance usually standing at 12 billion, 13 billion, and today is at 6 billion. So all of those numbers, they dropped a little bit today. BigX 341 million, Bitfinex 71 million. So we have Coinbase at 1 billion. So we want to look into Bitradex. We know already that when we first started to look at them, they were at the 193rd position. So they rose up in 1 year to the 60th position. They are today at the 61st position, and this is in spot only. They have transacted $478 million in the past 24 hours, over 900,000 weekly visits, 168 cryptocurrencies. This dropped a little bit. It was over 180, was 188. But guys, what we have to understand is that all of this is dynamic. Those exchanges, the numbers are changing, the volume is trading, the users are changing. So everything is volatile and everything is dynamic. So you are going to see from time to time that this position is always changing. We are at the 61st today. Tomorrow we might be at the 57, and 1 week later we might be at the 66, right? Understand that all of this, it's dynamic. One thing for us to look at Bitradex that we don't have anymore, it's this icon over here. Reserve data unavailable that you look at over here. We don't have it in Bitradex. Why is that? Because we have already comproved the reserve refund. So we have over in total assets, the Treasury Reserve Fund exceeded in spot only $186 million, right? They have transacted in the past 24 hours $468 million, over 7,000 Bitcoins. And this is only in spot. We want to come to derivatives. In derivatives, it was a little bit over $1 billion and something. Let's check. They are at the 45th position in derivatives. We have transacted $1.29 billion. So roughly around $1.8 billion were transacted in the past 24 hours. In 24 hours, guys, in the last day, almost $1.8 billion. So if you click it over here, you can see that's an additional $74 million in interest. Over 20,000 Bitcoins were transacted in the past 24 hours. Right, so this is derivative trading volumes. So back in all of this is the Treasury Reserve Fund. So these are numbers from Certic.com and CoinMarketCap. These are Bitradex numbers from those two giants in this industry. Those are the ones that mainly audit. the majority of those exchanges. So it's not our word. It's not the narrative created by Bitradex. It's the information pulled out of the blockchain, extracted directly out of the industry. So I'm also going to post this over here so it's easier for you to locate better. Then let's understand the team behind this whole structure, right? We have in front of us an elite machine and it requires elite minds. So we have the leadership team. It's composed by CEO Nikolai Jenkins. We have CIO, the Chief Information Officer, Nelson Feng. We have Wade as the CBO and we have Raiden as the CMO. So they leading our global footprint. We have the roadmap not being something that is vague or something that is being astronomical. We have something that is tangible, is achievable, and it's very much organized. So within the next 3 years, they are aiming to achieve top 10 in coin market cap with $50 billion in assets under custody. So they are organizing themselves and they are building a structure that is here to last many years to come. Not something that was built to last 6 months, 3 months, a quarter, 1 year. They are building something that has a strong foundation and it has on their system and their ecosystem diversity, which backs the sustainability. We're going to talk a little bit about diversity in a little while. So the reserve funds over 200 million. When this was launched, they were at the 50th position. Right now, they are at the 45th. They were at the 68th. Right now, we are at the 61st position. So we are witnessing these guys grow and these guys rise. David Villa, he is the another world champion, another brand global ambassador. The first one is Olivier Giroud. He's also our global ambassador today. David Villa is a Spanish soccer player. He brought home the World Cup in 2010. Spanish has just another World Cup, so he has officially joined Bitradex as global ambassador. He brings this champion's mindset. So let's look into his Twitter account. Over here, we have over 6.6 million followers, verified profile, and we have just posted the making of his Bitradex debut launch, right? If you look at over here, he is proudly talking about Bitradex as their new ambassador. So this is another seal of legitimacy. This is always pieces of the puzzle coming together, and this is what we want to look at. Not just numbers, but solid relationships that last longer. We have another one that is Olivier Giroud. He has been the official ambassador since June of 2025, and he remains as the Bitradex ambassador. So we know that these exchanges, they're always going to invite those top leaders, those top athletes to become their brand ambassadors. Why is that, guys? Because for these people, these humans, if we can call them humans, right? They are above society as overall, because for them to be able to achieve those levels of categories, bring home World Cups, be champions in the Olympics, like they show up every single day. They are committed to excellence. They are committed to greatness. And that's exactly the same mindset that has in Bitradex battlefield, right? The commitment to excellence, to achieve greatness. So we have it over here. Olivier, also a verified profile, 2.5 million followers, and you have him talking about Bitradex left and right since June in 2025 until this day. Another thing that we have it over here, it's Bitradex official account. So you can follow them in every social media, so you can always understand what's going on. This is the video of the David Villa behind the scenes. So follow them in every social, because there's always something new that was posted. There's always a trading championship. We have now the new Prime 45 days when we come talking about custody. So there's always something new and some new information. For those that have not updated yet, please ensure that you were able to update your app, because there's more and new features on your app. So ensure that you're following them in every single social, Instagram, Twitter, you have YouTube, right? So I'm going to post this over here as well, so you can stay tuned. Also update your apps, guys. Don't forget to update your apps, right? Let's go back to our presentation. How can we understand that the contracts in front of us, they are secure when you talk about the diversified revenue streams, right? So we know that what will back up this sort of revenue, right? So we have diversification. So no one is relying in one single market condition. We don't have to rely on one single source of revenue. So this is what guarantees the long-term sustainability. So we have the Bitradex ecosystem going around thus 5 different revenue engines. It's anchored on these 5 different revenue engines. We have the ecosystem coming out of the global payment. That's the first one. Then we have the native utility token, the BXC token, that's going to allow us to invest in real world assets through tokenization, which is projected to be a massive $16 trillion market. We have the institutional Arcos AI, right? We have over here the profit from the proprietary trading system. So this is also huge for us. And obviously, what we mentioned previously, it's the transaction fees. Remember that every single one of those $264 billion that are transacted on average on a daily basis through all those exchanges, every single one of them will leave behind the transaction fees. So everything that is transacted, when we talk about those almost $2 billion today, yesterday, $3 billion that were transacted within the exchange, every single one of those transactions will leave behind the transaction fees, right? So how can we maximize our strategies? So let's talk about alignment, right? These are the reserve funds audit. So let's understand now, how can we secure profits with this exchange? So we spoke a little bit about the industry. We gave a few insights on Bitradex itself and the whole ecosystem when we talk about crypto landscape. Now let's talk about alignment. How can you position yourselves alongside this huge giant that is growing as we speak? So what Bitradex does, it's offered to us highly optimized asset strategies that are tailored to our specific liquidity requirements. That is ranging from, we have it over here, the flexible plan that today it's at 6% on a monthly basis. The flexible plan, you're able to deploy your capital and withdraw every single day, not just the profit, but also what you have placed in your bot. This is the flexible plan. And then you have the robust structure plan that range from 30 to 360 days. You have 30, you have 90 days, 180, and 360 days. And each one of those will give a historically benchmark up to 12%. We have an additional one that goes up into 15%, which is the AI45. The AI45, from what I heard, it's a temporary one, but if you join in, if you deploy your capital into the AI45 and you keep your auto renew button on inside your portfolio when you place your custody under this asset, you're able to have the same interest rate even after those 45 days expired. So always ensure to keep your auto renew button on. Even if you have the previous interest rate, which was back in before July the 8th, you're still able to have the same interest rate even after it expires. So you have it over here, those 5 different sources of revenue. Let's jump into the website and understand when we talk about the custody and the profits, because it's easier for us to look at this when we have it in front of us. So you have the daily AI, right? If you custody right now, the daily AI, you're able to have, for example, $10,000 that you place in your daily AI. Let's have this in English because it's in Portuguese. Hold on. Let's go back to the main page and put this in English. All right. So we have it over here, the daily AI, right? So if you want to opt to custody this right now and you place it over here, $10,000, right? You're expected to have a daily return of $20. 30 days return, $600. This is delivering a 6% ROI on a monthly basis. Win rate 84%. All the trades that the bot took on our behalf. Picture this. A negative trade will deliver 0.35, $5. Positive trade, they reach up to 15. Why is that? Because the risk management is in place for every one of those strategies. They are going over liquidity, fear and greed index, volatility, capital flow, social sentiment, market trend. So we have the fundamental analysis of each one of those operations. The bots are constantly looking for those assets, and they have their own bot rules, right? So whenever you have the time, go over this because this is information for you, right? It's always good that you know what you're doing. The yield volatility, 13%. This is the daily AI. So now we want to take a step further. We are ready. We understand our liquidity necessities, so we can lock in the AI 30 days. So in our deposit, it's in stack for 30 days, but our profits, we are able to withdraw on a daily basis. So if you place it over here, 10,000, wow, 10,000, we are able to have an estimated daily return of 25. We have a 30-day return of 747. The maturity, because the contract is 30 days, it's 747, 82% of win rate. The ROI for this one, it's 7.5. We have the 90 days. Again, 90 days gives us the ROI of 9%. This is on a monthly basis, 86, right? Same thing. If you place it over here, you understand your numbers. The 360 days, if you place it over here, 10K. You know that in the 360 days, the ROI is 12%. So we are able to see $40 per day. The 30 days return, $1,200. The total at maturity, we're talking about $14,000 in a whole year. $14,000 because you placed your 10. That means that the second year forward, it's only pure profit. Right, so you have it over here, the volatility, the ROI, it's 82. Now the new custody, which is the AI Prime, this was just introduced to us. This has the 15% ROI. So we are able to secure this 15%. It has a 98% win rate. So if you place it over here, the 10,000, you're able to have $50 of profit every single day in your accounts. 30 days return, $1,500. The total at maturity we have, because it's 45, so you're able to have $2,000, 243. So every single day you are generating $50 in your account purely of profit because you're able to add 10,000. So you have it over here, and the end of your contract, if you keep the auto renew button on, and even if this 15% drops to 13 or 14, you are going to still remain with the 15%. So you have it over here. Let's have the concrete example, right? You have your $10,000. So you place it over there and your AI Prime 45. And keep in mind that you don't have to choose one or the other. You can always choose them all. I have my money invested in every single one of those bots. I have it already in the 45, in the 30, in the 360. I have a portion that I leave on my daily AI because I picture this as my emergency fund, because if I need to withdraw immediately, I'm able to do so. I don't have to wait for any period. I don't have to wait for any minimal balance. So this is the custody, right? That's the first way for you to secure revenue out of Bitradex partnership when you become their members. First thing you want to do, join in. You want to register through the link of who invited you in. So you have your team member, Hector. Hector is my upline. Hector presented me this huge opportunity and he shared his link with me. So he invited me on to Bitradex ecosystem. I registered through Hector's link. Guys, keep in mind, if you don't register through your upline's link, they are not going to secure commissions and you're going to break the chain. It's impossible to get you back on the same chain if you don't register through their link. Have this in mind, right? Never go over here and register using this button over here, okay? You join in. So first thing that you want to do is obviously deploy your capital into your total portfolio so you can eventually activate your bot. So now you're going to go to your Bitradex account and you're going to select the coin and the network. After you do so, you're able to go to your external wallet and place the same coin and the same network. Ensure that you're matching both. It always needs to match. If you don't match the same network and you choose one network in your one exchange and another network in a different exchange, your money will be lost forever. Your external exchange will not be able to retrieve that or Bitradex. So always ensure that you have the same coin in the same network. Super easy, nothing complicated. As soon as you complete this, you select the amount that you want to add to your portfolio. Now you have your 10K over there if this is what you want to deploy to your bots. Or you can place in one single bot, or you can distribute. See what's best for you, see what works best for you. After you do so, you have activated your bot, right? So now you secure monthly profits out of your bot trading for you with full authority under your name. All those 168 digital assets, they are using the best point of interest and exits to understand the high probability setups. So if we place $10,000 in a 45 days AI from the bot activities, we are receiving $1,500 every single month. Perfect. We're good to go. Now, if we want to take a step further, we are able to become Bitradex affiliate partners. So look at this concrete example, right? This is for builders. This is for visionaries. These are for leaders who understand the power of network leverage. So we have it over here, for example, something that it will most definitely change your life. We're talking about generational wealth. So how does it work? You are using the exchange, you're using these services, you're happy with it, you're reading the newsletter, you're using the credit card, you are trading with it, you're trading yourself because you're able to trade yourself. Whenever you open over here the exchange and you click on markets, this is a solid exchange. So whenever you click in one of those digital assets, it will open to us a robust trading interface where you're able to trade within those 168 digital assets. You're able to choose each one of them. You can trade futures where you're trading leverage up to 125 times. So these are they are constantly promoting trading championships where the winners, they walk away with Porsches, with BMW, with Rolex. I'm not gonna lie to you, these guys, the traders that participate in these trading championships, they are good. They are outstanding. I'm not on their levels. I just became profitable, so I'm not even joining those trading championships. I'm not gonna lie as well. I joined once, and they were like way above my league, but I was there just to look around and just to trade here and there. So I use the exchange to trade, but it's rare that I would enter in any one of those trading championships because I'm never going to win against those guys. But if you know what you're doing and if you are a real trader, please go ahead and give it a shot. I would love to see you over there. So not just the trading exchange, but also when you're using everything. So now you want to start building your network. So you have to look at this through a business lenses. This is your new business, right? And like any other business, you need to pay attention to your clients. So your referrals, people who you invite in, they are your clients, right? So you always want to bring new people in because you can secure commissions out of these invitations. Remember that when I showed us the Certic.com that we were at 72% out of community, we want to rise that up. We have today 2 million users, but we want to have, Binance has what, 300 million? What is the Binance numbers? So we want to have way more users than we have today. We're going to do this through community growth. So if you invite someone directly, I'm invited in Lupe. Lupe, it's my direct referral. So from Lupe's earnings, I earn 10%. She earns 100%. Nothing is taken away from her, but in terms of volume, because I brought her into the ecosystem, I secured 10% out of her profits. This is a game changing that we need to understand. We are not talking about profits on top of deposits. We are talking about profits on top of profits. So we don't rely on new people coming in for us to secure our profits. This is a game changer in this industry. This is something that really makes a difference. Lupa invites in Dolores. Dolores, it's my second level. So she is my indirect commission. So from Dolores profits, I secure 5%. Right? So picture this. We have, let's look at an example, a concrete example, right? We have my Lupe, because she joined through me, she is my direct partner. She allocates $3,000 and she chooses the 360-day strategy, which delivers to her 0.4% per day, 12% per month. So Lupe is happily collecting $360 a month because she chose that and she joins with $3,000. So because I introduced her to the ecosystem, I pick a passive clean $36 per month just out of this. Now scale that across 10 invitees, across 50 people, across 100 people. This is compounding leverage on autopilot, guys. So initially, we can call this invitations kind of an active income. The passive income will be the bots trading for us, right? Because we have to do nothing. We just place our capital over there into those bots and they will trade for us. This is passive income 100%. But when we start to build our network and invite people in, initially it will be active income because we need to create the entry points. We need to understand who in your cycle would be good to invite. We need to attend those meetings and ensure that they also have the links. So we are constantly putting in this work to invite them in. We don't have to remember anything. I just went over here 15 minutes talking. You don't have to do these presentations. I'm doing them for us, but you need to invite people in so they can listen to this. They can see the numbers by themselves. It's through your invitation. So because you invite them, eventually they will invite someone in. So this active income, it will eventually become passive income because it will enter the autopilot, right? So for those who have the business mindset and the leaders that ladder spans from VIP1 up to SVAP4, you have your total team volume growing from $50,000 up to billions. So this is when you see your network incentives scaling dynamically. Over here, you see that it starts with 10% and it can go up to 84%. Right now, me and my team, we are VIP level 6. I have heard that another 3 leaders, they're VIP 1 going into 2. I haven't heard anyone that joined as VIP 3 just yet, but I'm sure that this will happen very soon in the next couple of months. We're going to be seeing these. So look at the historical network simulations on the screen over here. You have, for example, VIP 4, right? We have as VIP4, these guys, the projected monthly volume, it's yelling at $67,000. This is the average footprint, right? Obviously, it can be a little bit low or it can be a little bit high. That's the average, $67,000. So this is not just incremental income, guys. This is on a monthly basis. This is generational wealth relocation. So we know that financial freedom is one of the very few things today that AI cannot change for us, cannot choose for us, but that's not entirely accurate, right? You have to look at these numbers over here. Step across the line, make the executive decision yourself. Understand this, understand the functions, the capabilities of the exchange in front of you, and make the decision, right? So there's absolutely no point in analyzing everything that we've been through today and making no decision and doing exactly the same thing that you did yesterday. This goes for every sector of your life, guys. In terms of relationship, if you are in a bad relationship, a toxic relationship, and you guys have been back and forth through communication that it's nonsense and nothing is improving, why are you going to keep yourself over there to spend and blink in another decade has been through of that suffering? In terms of business, you are working for a company that you hate and nothing changes. Your boss sucks. There's no communication. Why are you going to keep yourself over there? There's 8 billion people in the world. There's so many opportunities, but understand where you want to go. Understand that for you to get there, you need to make decisions and you need to execute those decisions. So every time that you have an opportunity in front of you, understand the metrics, understand the logics, and act accordingly. But guys, act on it. right? Let's act on it. Let's change our lives because we live only once, guys. There is no prize in just looking at life pass us by, right? So let's make the decision and let's act on it. We have been with these guys for over a year now. I love them, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of us in this room, we love them as well. So very simple for you to join the inner circle. Secure your account. Step one, join through the link of who invited you in, email and phone number. Step two, initialize your liquidity. You can use USDC, BTC, USDT, or every coin of your preference. Step three, activate. You choose your AI strategy. And guys, welcome to the inner circle. There's a lot for us to accomplish over the next year. Thank you so much for being here with me. Always an honor to give you the understanding of this whole partnership and the possibilities and the opportunities in front of us. Tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, we are here again. Those next 3 days, it will be 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. UK time. Yeah, so ensure that tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, you bring someone in with you so we can grow together. Guys, have a lovely Thursday. Always a pleasure. Love you all. Take care.